Yo, what's up, guys? This is Nightmare here at ADE, and you guys are watching Toasted.
Tyler, welcome to ADE.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm excited. It's my first ADE, so it's good.
It's your first time?
Yeah, it's my first time ever.
Did you actually hear about it before you got here?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've heard about it for years. I've been, producing music for about almost 10 years now, and I've heard it for many years. But I do more bass music, kind of like heavy style stuff. So it hasn't been as popular here over the last 10 years. It's definitely growing a lot. So it's good to finally be here and kind of be representing that scene a little bit.
I delved into your history, of course, before I did the interview, and the first thing that struck me is that basically when you started off, and maybe this is fake news, to stay in touch with the trend, is that you actually started to remix Tiesto. Is that for yourself? Is that true?
Tiesto? Oh yeah, I did. One of the first remixes I did as Nightmare or whatever was the Red Lights, I think was the name of the track, and that was the first remix that I did. So
it was an important one for you.
Yeah.
Hey, I love the ADE poster with your name on it, with the Van Gogh sky behind the bikes and the canal. Yeah. Who did that one?
We just have a media team who kind of puts together all of our stuff. So we had a few different flyers we were trying to decide between, like something, we usually have a little more minimal, like cool branding, but since it's Amsterdam and we just like the look of it, and it was just cool. So
hey, you do
team effort.
I think your team does a couple of great efforts, because I also love the merchandising that you guys have. It's great. Not alone great stuff to buy, but also the pictures are done really well.
Yeah, I was really happy with how the merch turned out. I did kind of, when I first started, like one run of real basic, just a few t-shirts and some hats and stuff, and I didn't have merch for a long time, so it was like almost a year and a half, and we got a bunch of new items, and we did like a pop-up store in LA. It was really successful, and we got a lot of great feedback, so I'm excited for it.
Who did the photography? Because it's really professional stuff.
The company that we use is actually it's just two girls in LA, and they have a company. They run the Alsa goods and stuff like that as well. But they do literally everything. They set up our website. They do the returns, the shipping. They hire the photographers, so all that kind of stuff. So I didn't hire the photographer for that one, but they pretty much do everything for us, and they've been amazing so far. They did the pop-up and everything too. So great job.
Hey, you joking on your Instagram? I think I tried modeling myself, but you weren't really good at it, you thought?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, not too good. Stick to music for sure.
Hey, check it out. You got a new EP out. There's some tracks coming out, and because of that, of course, I was looking into some other stuff that you did. Do you actually know how many plays your tracks have? Because it's out. I mean, Limelight, 13 million plays. Good Vibration, 6.7 million. Need You, 14 million. That's a co-op with Dillon Francis. How did that actually get together?
The Dillon Francis one, I had one of the first songs that kind of helped me break through. I know like Skrillex was playing a lot, and Diplo, and a lot of those big guys, and Dillon started playing it, and we ended up playing a show together, and I was like, hey, that was my song that you played, and we got along really well, and he showed interest in doing a song together, and he always does like Moombahton style stuff, and I had never really done that, so I was really anxious to do that, and we passed the track back and forth a few times, and it went by really quick. It was like 3 or 4 sessions, and the song was done, and really excited with how that one turned out. And then on the new EP, we have another song together, so I have another track coming out in like 3-4 weeks, and then December 1st, me and Dillon Francis have another track together. So
I was trying to find this EP actually on Spotify and on Deezer. I could find some tracks. You didn't release the whole EP, right?
Yeah, just we're doing basically the first few singles first, and then the full EP in December. So the first single came out maybe 3 weeks ago, and then actually just yesterday the second single came out. So there's only 2 so far from the EP, but it should be out in about a little more than a month.
Awesome. How many tracks will be on there?
6.
Why not feature a full album? I mean, 6. I mean, it's only like, let me see, 8 tracks less of a fantastic album, or maybe even 6.
No, it's true. I mean, I almost have enough material to kind of do an album in a way. But I think a lot of these tracks are all kind of different styles a little bit, and I think when I want to do an album, I want to make sure it's very cohesive and makes a lot of sense. So these 6 kind of make sense together, and the other ones are kind of separate a little bit. So I figured to do these 6 together and then do some singles next year, and then maybe towards the end of next year start thinking about writing a full album.
So you are thinking about producing one?
Yeah. I definitely will do an album eventually, but not before the end of this year for sure.
Well, that's good news. You heard it here first. Hey, of course, you were mentioning The Killer, new track featuring Brett James and Ransom. A killer track. I think a lot of your music, I think all of your music is very well produced. A lot of ear for detail. It must take shitloads of time to make that music, though.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, I got into DJing more because I was producing, so I was always writing my own songs and producing, and I spent all 4 years of college like studying finance, but really just spending my time at home producing music, and so I spent years and years and years before I was really happy with how my music sounded and before I started touring and stuff. So it definitely takes a lot of time and practice, but yeah, I feel like the attention to detail is what makes all the difference. So
very eclectic within each track. I mean, there's so many styles going through one track. I think that's actually very innovative. I think it's also a unique sound.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, that's definitely something I tried to focus on, was kind of having a little bit of everything and not cornering myself into, all his songs sound like this and people always expecting the same thing over and over. So yeah, I try to diversify a little bit, and seems to be getting good feedback so far. So
you also, I mean, if you start listening to a couple of your tracks, you get wrong-footed. Sometimes you start with samples, you expect a hip-hop beat, and then a girl starts singing.
Yeah.
Sometimes girls start singing, then a heavy beat starts. You like to wrong-foot people, music-wise?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, even when I'm starting tracks too, it always starts a different way. Sometimes it starts with me hearing a vocal and being inspired by the vocal, and sometimes I just sit down and write piano, and, so it's always different. Process of creating, and then obviously the end product is different every time too. So
On the Run is, I think, a very good example. It's a very, very well produced and beautiful track. How did it come together?
That one, I actually originally met the girl who sang the song Passport. She is like from Ohio, and was friends with my manager, and she's like a songwriter, so she had written the vocal and just kind of played it, and we had one recording of it was like 2 years old. And I heard it, and I was like, this is an amazing song. We called her, we flew her out, and re-sang it and kind of created new chords and melodies and stuff for it. And then I just built the song around that. So, yeah, it worked out great. I have a couple buddies in LA who are really, really talented musicians with guitar. And so one of them, there's kind of a gnarly guitar riff in there, and had one of my friends record and play that guitar, which was really great. So it's always good to be able to work with your friends as well,
Must be the best. Hey, you have your own playlist, of course, on Spotify, NGHTMRE Radio.
Yeah.
One track that you put on there, I think stood totally out. It's a Kid Froopy, Drive Slow. It's like Phoenix, Mojo, Daft Punk. That's what I wrote down. What do you think of it?
He's great. The first time I heard any of his stuff was he did a remix of Frontlines, the one me and Zed's Dead did together, yeah, it was just really, really unique, and like you said, it's got its own vibe, and we play that song in our Good Vibrations radio show too all the time. We have a radio show on Sirius XM, and always gets good feedback. So yeah, the kid's a great producer. Yeah.
Say that again. Hey, you played Only Want You with Snails at Red Rocks.
Yes.
How was that, man?
It was amazing. I mean, Red Rocks, it was one of those venues where, everybody's heard of it and you've seen pictures of it, and once you get there, it's more amazing than you expect. And to have me and Snails and Joyride, is a very bass heavy crowd, so you can see all 10,000 people just all the way up there, just all headbanging all in unison. It was a really beautiful show, and I don't know if you've ever met Fred Snails, but he's the nicest guy in the world. He's he's just hilarious, and it's awesome to see your friends succeed, and it's cool to be able to witness it with him, and it's good.
Talking jumping, you thank one guy or girl, I think it was in a Berlin crowd at Lollapalooza, who started the sit down, all by her or himself.
Yeah, it was a guy for sure, but I didn't even notice the very beginning. I was kind of looking down, and it was this real long kind of extended build up, and then I look up, and there's a guy in the middle just kind of telling everyone to get down, and there, there was good 30, 40 people already down, and then the whole crowd saw him doing it, and they all just got down, and then I just encouraged them, and then it was awesome. Though. Yeah, Germany crowd is always wild.
I think the Australian crowds are probably topping that even, because they made you drink beer from your own shoe.
Yeah, I was there, unfortunately, when shoeies were quite popular. So Hero Bust, actually, who I played with here the other night, was the one who forced me to do it. He just got on the mic and made everyone start chanting, and then I had to. So
I guess everybody wants to know, what does it taste like?
it tastes like sweaty shoe and beer. It's pretty much like it sounds. Actually, I got pretty lucky because I had just gotten those shoes, so they were like maybe 1-2 days old, so they were pretty fresh. So better.
So it tastes like IPA probably.
Yeah, it was better than most shoes, I'm sure. Yeah.
You have this Koopa backpack that you're wearing sometimes.
I know exactly what you're talking about. That was on Holy Ship. Yes, we had the backpack on because it was like on Holy Ship they had one of the nights was like dress up as a character or whatever night, and so Derek from Slander actually brought a bunch of like Mario Kart character costumes. So I think I had a Bowser thing on. There was like the Bowser shell, exactly. and then Derek had the Yoshi, and like we were all playing as like Super Mario characters. Yeah, and I remember that was great.
Hey, you have some dedicated fans. For your birthday, there was a video posted of at least, I think, 8 minutes long of people personally giving you a happy birthday message. That's special. Yeah, that was. You got a bit emotional about that. Yeah, you said
there was a fan page online, and that just kind of does like they're always like talking about new music and whatever, and I guess they put it together as a surprise, and it was very. Like the production value of it was so like you could tell these kids like literally were at home on their computers like making this video themselves. So it was amazing to see, and obviously I appreciate my fans more than anything. They're the ones who make all of this happen. So it made me cry a little bit for sure.
Hey, we're here in Amsterdam, of course. ADE. Did you get a chance to look around and walk around the city?
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody wants to know: did you go to the red light district and did you smoke weed?
We did a little bit of everything. We didn't do anything too crazy, but we got here Tuesday, so we've been here walking around. I was here a month ago for Mysteryland too. We had a few days off then after that. So
did you play Mysteryland actually?
Yeah, I played Mysteryland, and then
what do you think?
Had 3 days off after. It was amazing. It was like there's so many stages. It's like 14 or 15 stages or something, and it was beautiful just to walk around, and we only had 1 day there, but we got to check out most of the festivals and did like some swings and a few rides, and it was cool. I had a bunch of friends there, so.
Did you actually see the Gabber stage?
I don't know. I wasn't
like a really loud pumping stage, like a Thunderdome.
Probably. Was it like facing the giant hill in the middle? Yeah, we watched that for a little bit. That was wild. Yeah.
It's like the typical Dutch dance style called gabber. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it is very much. Now you can kill the mosquito. Fuck. You did it, man.
Boom. Got him.
Okay, now we're going to do it all over again without the mosquito. No.
Right.
Hey, but this gabber style is, of course, it's famous in Holland. What did you think of it? Because I mean, it is very powerful, and some parts of your music are powerful as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think. It reminded me a little bit of like hardstyle, real up tempo, and like real like a lot of energy, obviously, which is something I always try to do in my sets. And I don't know, it was cool. It was awesome to see. I've never been to a set like that before, so it was amazing to be able to see that. And I felt like there was a lot of similar styles at like a lot of the stages, so it's cool to see how the Dutch respond to that and how it's their kind of own thing, and it was everywhere, so it was cool.
Hey, what holds in your future for you to wrap this up? Your manager's getting angry here.
No. So yeah, I've got the rest of that EP coming out. I've got like a Nightmare Before Christmas tour in the US that I'm going to be doing. So really excited for that. And then as soon as I get back to the States, I'm going to be doing Halloween shows. Obviously, Nightmare.
Are you going to dress up?
I haven't planned yet. I was thinking about being Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. I get that a lot. People just tell me I look like him anyway, so we'll see. But
any collabs coming up that we should know about?
The Dillon Francis one I'm really excited about. There's a few more, but they're not like, I don't know if I can. I actually already did mention one in an interview, so I could say neat. I did a like a really cool hip hop track with ASAP Ferg. I'm really excited for. That'll be coming out probably next year, early next year sometime. That's like the goal. So.
And touring wise, will you travel the world? Will you go back to Europe? Will you go to Asia, South America?
Yeah, definitely. I'll be actually. I got one Sydney show for a festival in December, but that's my last international date for the year. And then I know we're working on a February Europe tour, and I think an April Australia tour right now. And yeah, that's all I got. That's all. Nothing's locked in yet, so it's kind of all in the works for 2018. But the rest of the year is going to be in the United States, pretty much. So.
Hey, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you having me.